All right, let's start off with just tell me your name.
I'm Guadalupe Lanning Robinson. I did the piece for the City Hall. I started last March with the idea of trying to keep the tradition of quilt making. I think it's a really strong Southern tradition that I love. And my first thought was people that will be around the piece will feel like something that they might want to continue doing. So many people mentioned to me, oh, my grandmother used to quilt, my sister quilted and all this. So I was thinking, well, that would be a good thing. Maybe somebody would like to do that. But going a little bit deeper into that, I thought, being in the South for some years now, I thought that it would be a real nice idea to merge my Mexican traditions with the Southern tradition. And what a better way to use the quilts, you know. The cotton, Huntsville was pretty much based in the cotton industry, and I thought, well, I need to try to combine those two things. Yeah, I guess as far as the design of the piece itself, it was something that developed as I went along. Of course, I wanted to use some traditional blocks that people are familiar with. So I used the traditional of, one of the main blocks that everybody knows, the log cabin. And then I also use follow the leader, which is a soft block of flying geese, which is also a very well-known block. And I incorporated pieces that I just made up. There is 2 sections that have blocks. I altered the proportions of it to make it look more like boxes instead of blocks. And they are full of pots, just boxes full of pots. And I have this company printed some of the images of my pottery, and I put that fabric on the top of the boxes, so it's boxes full of pots. I was looking at the building too, and I thought that maybe some of the elements that I could pick from the building, I tried to make blocks out of that. The fabric, of course, I am very attracted, I like a lot earthy colors. So all the choices that I did as far as the fabric was concerned, it was earth colors. And I did a mixture of different types. I wanted to add the corn that is made out of stonework clay, and the only way I could figure out was to do a frame. I didn't want to have just a quilt, just a bare quilt on the wall, but I wanted to dignify it, to make it bigger, so to have a frame on it. And I thought, well, if I want to incorporate clay, the clay could go in the frame. So that's how the idea developed. And I have done that corn, but in 2-dimensional, like an image in pots. But I didn't want to do just a flat corn in there, so I made it 3D. And I think that was very efficient, a very strong point of the whole piece. My Huntsville story, I guess one of the things that it was pretty shocking to me when I first moved to Huntsville, it was how easy it was living here. I moved here from Mexico City, and going to one place to another, it was just you could do so many things in one day. Another thing was how secure I felt and how pretty the city was. How clean everything was. Going to the park, taking my kids, being part of baseball games and softball games, soccer. Well, being part of the public art program that it has been going on, it has been really a privilege. I just feel very fortunate that I was included in this endeavor, and I feel totally thankful to see my piece in the building for years to come. I think that is a good representation for minorities. It is a great thing. I like the idea to think that you can tell that my piece reflect some of my background. It's a wonderful thing that Huntsville is doing, and hopefully it keeps going and growing because we really need that. There's nothing like living with things that are made by hand. I love making things with my hands. I think it's a wonderful thing, and it really makes your life better. I mean, we need things made by hand. We need people taking the time to slow down and do things. And I think the opportunity of me having a quilt at the public art with the public art program at this beautiful building, I'm just hope that people in some way might feel like, yeah, I want to make a quilt.